Hey there, and welcome to Costa Rica Story. And today we're going to be talking about 10 items you may not have realized can be essential here in Costa Rica. And we'll also talk about 10 items that you probably already know you need to bring, but I'm going to remind you anyways. That's what's up next on this episode of Costa Rica Story. So first we'll talk about the 10 things that you may not realize could be essential to you either living in Costa Rica or traveling in Costa Rica. And these are in no particular order, and I'm just going to start with clothespins, because drying your clothes outside is a reality for a lot of people here, especially when you first get here. A lot of people don't have like a washer or dryer, or a dryer especially, a real dryer that dries with heat. The clothespins that are available here in Uvita, that I've found anyways, have been these really small, cheap clothespins, and they're made of plastic and they don't last, and I'm trying to get away from using plastic, so I went to Capos and I did find these wooden clothespins, and I'm looking forward to using them. And also having rope to dry, to form a clothesline is good. I've got several different gauges of rope by now, so I've got some hung on the tree. I've got like a real actual clothesline thickness, but it's handy just to have when you've got a few extra clothes and you need to put an extra line out there. Next is plastic bags of various sizes, whether it's, you've got Ziploc that come in handy they come in handy for keeping stuff dry, and they also come in handy for keeping stuff sorted, and regular garbage bag size bags, just because it's nice to be able to keep stuff dry, and they're just handy to have. You can get that stuff here, but it's just something you're probably going to get at some point. So if you have them with you and it won't take much space in your luggage, go for it. So number 2 would be plastic bags of various sizes. And the next item on my gotta have list really comes in handy. It's a headlamp. So just for the times when maybe the power's out, or maybe you're outside at night, it just is no hands way to deal with things, so that's a good thing to have. Next is a power bank to recharge your phone, recharge your iPad, recharge whatever you need to recharge. And this comes in handy because a lot of times the power goes out for extended periods. Not so much here. I haven't really experienced that. We've had some short power outages, but I've heard of some places, power being out for days at a time. So you need to have that, and it just comes in handy too if you're traveling somewhere, and if you don't have the capability to recharge your phone in your car, or if you're hiking somewhere, it's just nice to be able to charge it. It's kind of a pain to carry this big thing around, but it's a good option to have, and if you were to buy this here, this would be really a really expensive item here. Any electronics that you have to buy here are going to cost you a lot more here, even cords. Make sure you bring all your cords. That's a bonus one. Bring all your assorted cords you need to function, to recharge, or to access things. I had to buy a USB-C to USB-C here, and it was probably, I would say, 2 to 3 times more expensive than it would have been if I bought it on Amazon. So this is called a dry bag, and this comes in handy when you go to the ocean or anywhere there's water, because it's quite spacious, and you can put your stuff in here. And you can also get one of these to put your phone in. I don't have my phone with me now, but trust me, your phone goes in here, and you lock it in, and you stick that in here along with your wallet or whatever else you need, and it kind of rolls up, and you can fold it to be a smaller size if you've only got a little bit. And if you got more items, you make it bigger. But it doesn't keep it 100% dry. A lot of times you get a little bit of water in there, so whatever's in there should be maybe within a plastic bag itself, or in some kind of protective enclosure. This is a Silica gel, and you put this in your I put it in my camera case to keep my camera dry. It absorbs moisture, so I really shouldn't be having it out here because it's actually soaking up moisture quite a bit. It turns pink in the middle when it starts to get saturated, and it's starting to get a little pink. And these can be renewed, kind of dried out, by putting them in an oven. And our next item, this is a big one for me. I don't know, I've always wanted to have good scissors by my side, so bring a pair of good scissors with you, because they come in handy for so many different things. You can get scissors here, they're expensive, and some of them aren't as high quality, and you never know what you're going to get. And here's one near and dear to my heart, because I'm a sweaty guy, and it's nice to have one of these wristbands so you can do this. It's a lifesaver sometimes when you're really sweating like a pig. And the next item that you may not realize that is an essential here in Costa Rica. You may be thinking Costa Rica, you're going to be at the beach all the time in sandals, and maybe that will be true for you, but maybe you'll do some hiking. So if you do some hiking, you're going to want to bring your hiking boots. And there are a lot of opportunities to hike, and I think people don't realize that here. Some people do, some people don't. But if you think maybe you're going to do some hiking, bring your hiking boots. It's nice to get off the beaten path sometime and get away from the touristy areas and do a little hike. And the last item I'm going to have for things that you probably didn't realize you needed here in Costa Rica is long sleeve shirt and long pants. And why that? If you've seen previous episodes, you know that I put on the long sleeve shirt and the pants when I know I'm going to be in bug country. It's kind of uncomfortable to have to put on this stuff when it's hot, but it does deter the mosquitoes quite a bit. And I've said before here that the mosquito problem really isn't huge here, but when you get into the jungle, it tends to be more. I grew up in upstate New York, and we have mosquitoes that I've encountered there are way worse than mosquitoes I've encountered here so far. But when for instance, if I'm concentrating on photographing something, like when the monkeys are up in the tree, I'm kind of like really focused on that, and I'm kind of still. I have to have bug spray on that, or I'm going to get eaten alive, because mosquitoes take advantage of that. Here in Uvita, the mosquitoes aren't a huge problem where I am anyways. I mean, your mileage may vary. I guess that's one thing you need to say. So that's it for the things that you may not have realized you needed here in Costa Rica. Now let's go to the more obvious things. So now let's talk about 10 obvious things that you need in no particular order, and these are just some of the things that just came to my mind that you just have to have. And a lot of these things I brought with me, and a lot of these things I bought here, but regardless, is something that you're going to need, probably, I would say. My opinion, just my opinion. So a water bottle with a way to carry it. I've got this little cool water bottle, real cool carrying thing, straps around the waist, and that goes with me just about every place I go. The next thing, because if you're from a colder climate, you're used to, like, you wear a jacket, you got a place to put your wallet and your keys. If you're somewhere like Costa Rica, you don't have those pockets anymore. You lose those pockets, and you really don't want to stuff your shorts with all your different items. So even if you're not a fanny pack person, here in Costa Rica, you're probably going to become a fanny pack person. And it's a good way, if you're like me, who tends to not always remember to bring things with you, having everything in this fanny pack is nice. I've got this holds my phone, a little place for my phone, and the wallet fits in the front, and I have change in there, and I throw my keys in there. So that's an essential. That's essential for me. Next thing is bug spray. And I've said before, the bug situation here in Novita where I live isn't horrible, but you know, you're out in shorts and a short sleeve shirt, you're going to run into bugs, so it comes in handy. And if you're in the jungle, the bugs are a little bit worse. And the next thing is sunscreen. And sunscreen is huge. You have to wear sunscreen all the time, even when you don't think you need it. I've got like an 85 here that I use at the beach, and I've got a 50 that I use day to day. Even if you're just going out to the store and you think you're only going to be gone a little while, put that out on the critical areas so you know, you're prepared, because you don't know, you might run into somebody and you might end up going down to the river or anywhere, and you want to be protected, so put that sunscreen on. Sometimes when you move to a new place or you go to a new place, it takes your stomach time to adjust, and you may get stomach discomforts, we'll say. I won't get too graphic, but having some Pepto-Bismol comes in handy. A lot of times people come here and they think they've got some kind of bug because they've got digestive problems, and a lot of times what it is, it's just adjusting to the food and adjusting to the new microorganisms that inhabit your body when you're in a new place. So there's that. I didn't bring it with me, but it's just, you know, an anti-itch gel for when you do get bit by a bug or whatever, or a rash from a plant. And I got this at a local pharmacy, and it seems to do pretty well. And just something that you always would have in your medicine cabinet, some antiseptic stuff for if you get a little cut. Because if you're in the tropics here, you don't know what kind of like microorganisms are running around. So if you get a little cut, put some of this on it just to be safe. I'm not sure what this exactly is. It's kind of different than anything I'm used to. It's kind of a syrupy kind of stuff, but it you know, it's an antiseptic, so it does the job. Next, moisturizer. Either bring it with you or buy it here and use it, because you know, the sun dries your skin out. The good news is you don't have the dry air like where I'm from in the upstate New York, where especially in the wintertime, the air is so dry, your skin and your eyes and everything just become dry. Here everything's moist, but you get the sun and your skin gets kind of irritated, so throw some moisturizer on if you get too much sun and hope for the best, right? Next is an umbrella. You've got to have an umbrella if you live in the South Pacific of Costa Rica. There's no way around it. It rains here. Not a big deal. It's kind of fun. So you've got your umbrella. You can learn how to spin it and have a good time with it, but make sure you have it and bring it with you when you need it. I mean, it's not a big deal to walk home in the rain, so you know, if you're not going anywhere special, don't worry about that. Next item, a screwdriver and a multi-tool. Your essential go-to tools, whatever they are at home. I mean, I probably should have brought some vice grips, because vice grips are always like something I use a lot, but since I'm renting, I'm not responsible for repairs to the place I'm living in, so I don't have to, you know, worry about a lot of stuff, but you still do need some tools for your own stuff. I've got photography gear that I use tools for, Allen wrenches and things. When I'm packing my suitcase, I think about the size something's going to take up. So if something's going to take up a lot of space, it better be something I'm really going to need. It really is tough knowing what to leave and what to bring with you. So when I go back to the States again, I'm going to be going through this all over again, because I only brought two suitcases with me when I came here. So I left a lot of stuff behind. Maybe I'll do a shipment, I'm not sure. So that's my 10 items that you probably already realized you needed. And before that was the 10 items that you may not have realized that you needed. So I hope that can be some help to you when you're packing and making those decisions of what to bring and what not to bring when coming to Costa Rica. So that's all I've got for this episode of Costa Rica Story. I hope it was helpful, and we'll see you next time. Well, I hope that helped. I hope that helped, and so I hope.